since, I've had a chance to do one of these. Um, yeah, there's a story there, that's for sure. Oh, let's see here. Am huh. Well, let's try refreshing this because it is definitely okay. And got that one working. Apparently, it's been so long since I done this that not even the computers remember how to do it. Okay, there's that one. Oh, wait. This has to go down to there so I can actually type. This one, apparently, it's out of practice as well. So we'll refresh this one. Come on, little feller. Huh. So audio is low. I wonder why that is. That is very strange. Let me go ahead and enlarge. Okay, there's that. Um, Let me kick the sound on here for just a second so I can see what you're talking about. Um, okay, there's the sound. Um, that is very, very strange because nothing has been changed on the settings. Oh, it sounds good on my end. Huh. All right, now I can get back to this little chatty thing here. Good morning, Cher. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Tony. Audio's pretty low. That's weird. Good morning, Jan. Good to see you. Good morning, Stephen. David, good to see you, bud. My birthday is coming up soon. I'm going to be 33. Awesome. I don't even remember 33. I'll be honest about it. 33 was 20, 25 years ago. Y'all know my memory sucks. So, I mean, oh man, it's been so long since I've had a chance to wear normal clothes. Nothing feels right. Oh, 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 oh. Ah, so much has been going on, guys. My channel is at 77 subs. 33 was 8 years ago. Good morning, Debbie. Long time no see. I saw your Meta pictures that you put on Facebook this morning, Jan. Them are some fine looking little maters right there. Oh, well, okay. Let's see what the wife wanted. She has got an appointment. Oh, okay. Just laughing at my comments. She took a picture of me this morning when I was sleeping. And it's like I'm laying on my stomach and I got my head tilted way back and I got my arm up and the way that the joint was laying going up on the pillow, it had an extra crease in it. And she said, "Does your neck hurt by any chance?" And I told her no, but it looks like my shoulder's dislocated because you had the bump from the shoulder and then you had a deep divot and a deep divot and then it went up into my bicep. I'm like, man, that's how I sleep. It's no wonder I feel like crap every morning when I get up. Oh, oh, Sarah, you just asked the $1 million question. Ever heard of monkey butter? No. I've heard of monkey bread. Never heard of monkey butter. All right. The first story of the day. When I was called 6 weeks ago, 7 weeks ago, to head up the pizza place, that's exactly how it was offered to me. You want to help me head up this pizza thing? I was all for it. That's my specialty. So I went in there for a month before we opened. Must have given out 150 pizzas to people to try over the last 2 weeks before we opened. Got all the recipes mastered, been producing all their dough for them. Apparently, I was supposed to, after working like a Hebrew slave for him for all that time, and getting the hours, spending time away from the family. Um, this past week, I had a total of 3 days on the schedule. I was supposed to work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Apparently, even though um, at the old pizza place I worked at, 5.5 and 6 hour days were really good to make, 100 dough balls. 5 or 6 hours at his place to make almost 200 dough balls was unnecessary labor that he was spending on me when he could hire a pastry chef that did not roll up the dough balls for that day and make dough for the next day. So after being called on Friday and being told, "Oh well, Lily done dough." Now understand, this Lily person wasn't even on the schedule. So she was one of those mysterious hire kind of things that they didn't tell anybody about. He was supposed to call me on Sunday. No, he was supposed to call me on Saturday and let me know. The other big thing was apparently I was not following his recipes. Now understand, I'm the kind of chef that writes what's called a Bible. It's got all the recipes detailed out just the way he wants them done. Because though I am the only real chef he's got there, I have no say in any of the recipes or anything. Any idea you have is completely shot down. Um, Apparently, there was a conflict with his daughter. She didn't like me, thought I wasn't following the recipes. I talked back to her because, she would say something about the health laws and stuff in the state of Michigan, and I would pull it right up from Michigan.gov and tell her, no, that's not how it is anymore. It's been changed. Um, Apparently, I just was not like so. The professionalism that I tried to provide, since I do have the health inspector's home number, not his office number. I have his home number because we hit it off so well the very first day we met. Um, I don't even know if I still have a job or not. I'll make it completely honest. Now, granted, I was very happy when this channel finally got monetized, but the $9.70 that I've made in the last 2 months isn't gonna help all that much. So that's uh that's the gist on that. And chances are, since they like to spy on your social media, after making my comments about it, there's a very good possibility, that even if I was being considered for the schedule this week, I probably ain't now. I'm going to have to shoot back up here and read some of these. Monkey Bread Sweet. No, buy any. No, Drew. Remember the last. You remember the last year ago when I was a guest on History Comes Alive? That was a few years ago. I haven't had Living History Comes Alive for 5 years. Delicious. Never had it. Allergic to pineapple. Try it. Um, well, oh gosh, I'm sorry. What do you have had bad on social media? That's pretty much it, Tony. I don't have anything bad except that statement that I just made about my job. I was also accused, or he told me that he was shown a text message where I was talking about the fact of being underpaid. I went through all my text messages. That never happened. I only talked to two people from there, and that was the kitchen manager, which he brought in a young kid with minimal restaurant experience that's never had a management position before. Of course, I was told because he wouldn't have to pay him as much. Um, and, I was also also informed that, oh God, what? We're down 2 bags of one flour, which is weird because they brought us the exact number of bags, and the old man that had unloaded the truck stacked the bags all together. We used two different kinds of flour to make the dough, and I had to go in there and separate it all. Of course, the bags are completely different in design, so they're very easy to read. Um, but I've only gone in there and got flour once and took one off each stack. And he's trying to tell me that, when his daughter went in there the other day, that there was 2 bags that were unaccounted for of one kind. So apparently, whoever went in there and got flour um, took two off the same stack. But it wasn't me because I haven't gone in there and got flour for 3 weeks. So, yeah. I just think it's really funny. Um, Pretty much, I've talked to a couple friends. I talked to a friend that is a lawyer. Of course, we're not going to do anything about it, but he told me that it sounds like he wanted me to come in there and help get everything mastered, pay me minimum wage, and give me all the hours with the promise that the hours were going to probably increase once we opened. Then he completely overstaffed and realized, hey, I got this dough guy here who's a dough master who can mix this stuff for me properly, help me get all these recipes fine tuned, and then I can, you know, so so I really honestly think that the fact that I'm almost 58 years old, I've been doing this since I was 19. I have been insulted. I have been chastised. I have been, and my family has been emotionally abused. Um, I think I'm done cooking. I think I'm completely done cooking, making pizzas, anything. It's time to hang up my chef coat. It's time to hang up my very cool little white hat that says Papa across the front of it. Um, in a town like this, it's too easy to take advantage of somebody with special skills. And especially when you're dealing with a place that knows all the loopholes to not treating people properly. You Minimum wage goes up in Michigan on January 1st. It goes up to $15 an hour. Something was mentioned the other day that there won't be an increased $15 an hour because everybody will just get recategorized as receiving tips. Therefore, you don't have to pay them the legal minimum wage. So, of course, all they got to do is, categorize you that way and then put out a tip bucket, even though, if you don't get any tips at all, but you're still categorized that way. So, so this last job did the same as the first one. It's the same place. same owner. He just opened the pizza place next door. And he when I talked to him on Friday, he flat out told me when we were discussing the pay thing. I told him, when he brought up the fact that I had discussed not being satisfied with my pay. I told him, I said, state average, state average for a certified chef is between 25 and $32 an hour. I said, I make 13.70 and don't bitch. I don't complain one bit. I said, I've even worked off the clock because I knew I was getting real close to that point. Um, but, not to mention the fact that I am the only one who looks at it more as a job because it's something that I love to do. I come in here with a smile on my face, even though I'm back here and I'm making dough and I'm rolling dough balls and I'm getting the little garlic knots made up for the day. If a customer walks up to that window and they want a pizza, by God, I stop what I'm doing and I make an order for them. I serve their order for them. I clean up after them. I treat them well while they're there. I do all their dishes and I leave that place spotless for the crew to come in and do their work. Nobody else would do that. Nobody else has done that. All week long, they have not had anybody there to make lunch. As a matter of fact, when I was there on Friday, I seen him turn away two different people that came in there to eat lunch. Oh, no, no, no. I wouldn't share. I wouldn't. It don't work that way with me. Well, and see, Tony, I'm gonna comment to your little crappy restaurateur thing. It is that way. We have got two little diners. We have the one right uptown and the one heading east out of town. The one heading east out of town, I worked, what, 6, 7 years ago for the previous management, but I never met the owner. I've heard he's a whole different kind of animal. Nice guy, but you know, the ones uptown are Greek. They have mostly family working there. They have a few people come in to do dishes and stuff, but other than that, the owner and his sons do all the cooking. We have the place that I just left, which has been in business for 50 years. They just opened the pizza place this year. um, and then we have the Indian restaurant uptown, and we have one other bar that's been in business for a long time. And we got the brewery. Sadly enough, it's mostly food places around here, which is where I'm stuck because there's not much else I can do. Um, Around here, which means now I'm stuck trying to, now that somewhat fixed, getting my driver's license back and trying to find a car so I can actually drive someplace um, to do something different, get out of this town. Hey Ben, good to see you, bud. What else do I see here? Yeah, Ben's been MIA for a while. I don't know where he's been hiding at. Um, First off, that guy isn't even from this country. He has no idea what American breast pizza should taste like. Wait, who are you talking about? The Greeks don't own the pizza place. The guy further south, right down there by the lake, um, he put the pizza place in the parking lot just north of. There's been a lot of changes since you and Jay were here. Um, that hill that was just north of the restaurant down here by the lake is completely gone. They put in an amphitheater seating, like ledge seating, like it's grass with concrete border, and then there's another step and another step and another step for people to put their own chairs and blankets. Um, I believe the beach was here when you were here, the stage and stuff down there. And now, the pizza place. Yeah, Sheriff sounds like just using you to launch it. That's exactly what I was told. It sounds like, you bring in the expert to, the guy who's opened multiple restaurants and has set up kitchens and has managed restaurant businesses and stuff like that. Bring him in to help get it set up, and then once it takes off and it's huge already, um, then oust, bring in the young kids and stuff like that, and let them do their thing. Um, Let me see here. Where am I at? So this last job, same as first job. This tipping a chef or cook. Oh yeah, you can legally do it. That's why you have minimum wage for non-tipped employees, and you have minimum wage for tipped employees. Um, Basically, what they're saying is with the tips that you should get, you should equal at the end of the week a livable pay. Um, but with a non-tipped employee, the straight pay you get should equal or exceed the cost of living for your state. Um, anyway, that's the way it's supposed to work. But if you categorize them as a tipped employee, then you only have to pay them up to a certain amount plus their tips. Before she married, my youngest was making $150 a day in tips. When I was there Friday, he gave me my tips from the people that I had done the lunch thing for in the mornings, um, for the previous week, and it was $112 for the previous week, is what I got. So we don't do tips over here. It left a tip. A chef starting rate here is 28 an hour, 21.50 US. For a 38-hour week, it increases with expenses, etc. Oh, see, ours don't do that. Damn it. That's what I get for slowing down again. You know, it's funny. My body has become so accustomed to having my cigars that go any time, any length of time without one, I start to get the itch. But then when I start smoking again, the itch goes away. Um, Chef starting right here, $28 an hour. Yeah, we're 25 here, 25 to 32, roughly. It might have gone up, but you know, it starts at about $22 an hour, and as of 2 years ago, went to here. Let's find out. What is the average certified chef pay in the state of Michigan?
The average annual pay for a certified chef in Michigan is between about $44,647 and $58,207, which is roughly $21 to $28 per hour, depending on the job market.
Okay, so see, it's been adjusted since the last time I checked. When I checked the last time, I believe it was like 44 up to 65, depending on where you're at. Like, you know, they get paid a lot more in Detroit than we do uh, down here. You know, they get paid better in Lansing and the state capital than what we do. So, and you know, location, location, location. You've got the east part of the state, which is all your fancy smancy folk, and you got the west part of the state, which is your out of staters and stuff like that to come up here and holiday, basically. 112. That is more than I would have thought. Well, yeah, you figure though, 112 was only out of maybe 10, 12 people over that week that would pop in. We would never have a full lunch because we didn't open for lunch, but I was told to never turn away a customer. If I had the oven on and things are ready to roll, go on and make their order for them. Never had a dissatisfied customer. See, not only am I an experienced chef, but I'm experienced at customer satisfaction, customer service. And, but, you know, after 40 years of doing it, how could you not be experienced at it? So, you know, I was going out and checking on them every 5 minutes. I was making sure that everybody was happy. I was always dressed sharp, white chef's coat, white pants, you know, clean shaven, hair done, looking to the T's, you know, to make sure that they had a full good experience. Constantly asked them if they needed refills, constantly asked them if they needed me to take stuff away for them, asking if they needed anything else, asking them, you know, how they felt about the food, the whole shebang. Um, thing. That's how I operate because those are the people that keep you in business. Between coming and visiting themselves, bringing family and friends, and word of mouth, especially in a place this size, you know, it's they're the ones that keep your boat afloat. Is making pizza a chef job? Well, you know, there are actually schools that certify you as a pizza chef, a pizza master. You know, I was looking at everybody in the country's at least heard of Goodfellas Pizza. They're the most famous pizza company in the U.S. They own the New York School of the New York Pizza School. It's called Goodfellas Pizza, and you can become a certified master pizza chef at Goodfellas. Sadly enough, they don't do online, and they have no schools outside of New York. So to get that certification, you have to travel to New York and stay there while you're going to school. In case you guys haven't guessed, I do not have the funds nor the desire to live in New York City for 6 months. Let me see here. A chef is a cook, whether that be pizza, pasta, steak, any other cook. Yep. A mate of mine was a chef, but at mine site, he was earning 100 grand a year, and his uncle was a chef on an offshore rig. He was earning, oh my God, yeah, he was earning, yeah. Sadly enough, you guys, once again, if you know me, you know how I am about deep water and the fact that things are swimming underneath me that don't even have to chew me up. So, working on a cruise ship, working on an offshore, platform, things like that. No, no. I do, no, McDonald's worker is not a chef. No, but if they become certified as a chef, then you can call them a chef. Um, like we don't have at the casino, we don't have cooks, we have chefs, and you don't. When it comes to McDonald's, we don't even want to bring McDonald's up in this town because the manager that used to, I don't know if they have a new manager or not, but yeah, she no, no, she'll hire anybody in there. I don't care what their habit. I don't care what their energy level. I don't care what their cleanliness level. I don't care nothing. She will hire them just so she don't have to be there to do any work. We have literally gone in there before on multiple occasions to get dinner when something's on special. We have the little McDonald's app, on your phone, and we'll order stuff on there. So all we do is go in and pick it up. And we'll get in there at dinner time to pick it up. And it will look like that somebody just took all the ingredients, threw them in a box, closed the box up, then kicked it across the floor. So, and when you complain, nothing happens anyway because, well, oh, well, uh, we have no way of telling who made that order. certain employees posted to certain positions on a make line for a shift. So if the receipt says that we came in there at 5 o'clock to get dinner, and you have Bob on the burgers, you have Sally and Chrissy on the fries, you have, you know, Tony on the chicken sandwiches, then it's going to be real easy to tell who made a Big Mac or who made a chicken club or who made a French fry. You know, if the French fries are all black and you pick them up and they turn to powder in your hands, then you want to blame the two girls on the fryer. But that's just the way this place goes. Someone is qualified chef and hired. A chef doesn't matter what they're cooking, but if they're hired as a cook, different wages. Even though McDonald's don't employ chefs, they do have chefs. Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Um, there are guys working for McDonald's that are younger than me that have been in the business less than half the time I have, and they come up with the recipes, and these guys are making, $75,000 a year just to sit in the kitchen and develop these new menu items. You can call them chefs, yes, but McDonald's don't pay. No, you're right, they don't. We're talking restaurants, though, no fast food chains. Cheaper for me to get good burger at my local fish and chip shop than it is from Mecca's. See, I look at these most recent, you know, happenings and stuff, and I really regret um, not being able to open my place up 3 years ago. I mean, just something as simple. And I know when I say it this way, when I say it the way I'm about to say it, a lot of you are going to like scoff and go, simple, you know, to think that I had all these people that were interested in doing business with me, but I couldn't come up with the $75,000 that I needed to buy the building and get it set up. And that's all it was going to take. I had that one investor that wanted to buy my building, wanted to buy the corner lot, and wanted to buy the next business over. And the guy wouldn't sell the corner lot because that was the key. The corner lot was the parking lot. That was where we were going to use to do all the high school band functions, to do the bike rally, to do the car show, to do everything. We were even going to we even had a spot in the back of the building that we could rent out for parties, for receptions. Basically, it had a business building, and on the back of it had an apartment. It was 2 rooms and then an open concept kitchen dining area with a separate bathroom and a separate entrance to it. So they didn't even have to come through the restaurant itself. We could rent out the back area as an open concept. It had plenty of room for tables and stuff. That building was only going to cost 50 grand because the old man that owned it was in his mid 70s and just wanted to sell it. Um, pretty well, but that's just because I can think and I'm willing to try stuff. Exactly. You have to be willing to try stuff. You're right. Kelly burgers are quality burgers. See, I like the personal touch when it comes to food. You know, if you're going to make burgers, offer burgers, offer a selection of burgers, offer a build your own burger. When the bar was open uptown 3 years ago, and I was working up there, they gave me the freedom to adjust, change things, offer specials at lunchtime and stuff. So, you know, I would offer like the cowboy burger, instead of having lettuce and tomato and pickles and mayonnaise. I would offer the cowboy burger, or better yet, here the big Texas burger, and that was two patties, half a pound of meat. That was deep fried, breaded jalapenos. That was onion rings. That was barbecue sauce. That was oven roasted tomatoes or fire roasted tomatoes. That was two different kinds of cheese. It was a very spicy burger, and I had customers that came in that tore it up and then ordered another one to take back to work with them, so they had one on their next break. When I offered the sky high, I, once again, half a pound of meat, two quarter-pound patties on a hoagie bun. Now, instead of having the round bun, it was just an elongated hoagie bun. And when it come to the toppings, you would start at the sandwich make table and work your way all the way down it. Then you would go to the pizza make table and work your way all the way down it. That burger was like that big when it got carried out to him. I had to take a skewer, a wooden skewer, and poke it down through it to hold it together while it was being transported, because the toothpicks weren't long enough. It was three toothpicks thick. And I had a woman that came in there that got two of them every time she came in. That was a $15 burger, but she would order two of them because she loved the fact that it had everything from the simple burger toppings all the way down through the black olives. It had the different kind of cheese. It had jalapenos. It had banana peppers. It had everything on it. Imagine how Subway sandwiches used to be back in the day, when you could go in there and they're saying, "Here's your lettuce. Would you like more?" "Oh yeah, more." And they put, "Oh no, more than that." And then you move down to the nanny peppers. "Is that enough?" "Oh no, more than that." And they do it without scoffing. Now they want to charge you for the extra stuff. But I mean, that's what happens when certain groups of individuals buy into places and don't follow corporate policy. And I know that sounds bad, but I have been on the phone with the owner of our Subway, and he flat out told me, screw the corporation. They can tell me how to decorate, they can tell me what signs to display, but they can't tell me how to run my business. Ben, tastes 100 times better. Hey, Drew. Little Miss Bombries, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Big tip on meat tastes great. Oh, meat tastes wonderful. Meat tastes wonderful. Um, can't go wrong with a good proper made burger. No, actually, I wanted to do the burger thing for Labor Day. Coming up here real soon, and the wife has to work. Um, Saturday night was her last night for 6 months. So now it's time to start her summer hours, where she goes in at like 6 o'clock in the morning and works till 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the afternoon, and then gets to come home. Um, and then in February, she'll start back on her winter hours, which means she leaves at, you know, well, it depends on what position she's doing that night, but whether she works as a cashier, she works in the bank, or she works in management, she may go in at 7:30 and work till what 2, or go in at 8 and work till 2, or go in at 10 and work till 6. During the stormy, wintry time of the year. Yeah, that's when I always sleep the best, is knowing that my wife is driving around in a snowstorm. But then again, if it wasn't for those times that she has managed to be driving down a road and the wind go drive past the woods and the wind hit the side of the car and blow it right off the damn road into a field or into a ditch. And then, of course, she's there flagging down passerbys and nobody stopping to help out. So, yeah. Actually, I fry a hamburger just enough to brown it on both sides and bake the thing. I've done that too. And, I really kind of like them like that. Actually, my missus just did her last day a week ago today. Congratulations, man. It's about time that woman gets to kick back and enjoy life a little bit with you. Hey, Santee. Hope you're doing good there, old friend. That's what OS happened here right now. Cold, rainy, stormy night. Mrs. Santee don't drive? I was wondering why in the few pictures you sent me of your place, I only seen that cute little gold pickup. I never seen her car anywhere. That would explain that. I never realized that. Sir, I got to retire from the driver duty. Well, good. I'm glad. It's she gets anxiety. That's I know Tucson is nothing like Houston. I mean, when I lived in Houston in, 98, 99, 2000, there were, according to, Harris County Sheriff's Department, where we done our training for the security driving course and stuff. Um, they said there were 10 million people in the Houston Metroplex. Now, I mean, that's the four boroughs that make up Houston. And they said you figure half of those people own two vehicles. They said so at any given time between 12 o'clock midnight and 11:59 that night, there are about 15 million cars on the road around Houston. When you come off an on ramp onto the highway traveling just north of downtown Houston, it's not that, 55, 60, 65 mile an hour speed. You go up that on ramp at 45 mile an hour, and by the time you hit the top of that on ramp, you have to be going almost 90 mile an hour, and people are still passing you. I understand anxiety when you're driving. To go from a place like Indiana, where I mean you were still young, but I mean you kind of remember, I'm sure, what Indiana was like. You know, you're a year older than I am, so they probably hadn't raised the top speed up to 65 yet when you left Indiana. But yeah, it's bad enough maintaining 65, 68 mile an hour going down the interstate in Indiana. But when you're going from 45 to 90 plus in a 20-second period, I'm talking too much. I'm out of practice, guys. It's been 3 weeks. Got my heater on. It's still cold. You would not survive winter here, Ben. I swear to God. You guys do not have temperatures anywhere close. Your winter temperatures are nowhere close to our winter temperatures. And I've told my friend Alan from England the same thing. You would not survive temperatures here because you complain about it being in the 50s and the 40s, on occasion high 30s. When you get up in the morning and you have wind chills of minus 55 and stuff like that, I would be taking an ice pick in April and trying to chisel you out of it. That's all there is to it. But at least if you lived here, I'd be able to make pizza for you. Probably not going to make it for anybody else, but I still make it for you. Let me see here. Chauffeurs asking for a chauffeur's hat for years, never get. Well, we're gonna have to do something about that. That's all there is to it. Every good chauffeur needs a chauffeur's hat. Yes, my gasoline bill has went from 60 to 80 a week to maybe 20. And that's always good. I'm sitting outside with a throw blanket on my lap. It's cool here tonight. Yeah, Dallas is like that. Average speed on the interstate was approaching 100. Was trying to do that in GMC conversion van. I have a few layers on. Wait, I lost it. Where'd it go? Oh, it jumped way up there. I have a few layers on McLeod. Decided to put the wizard robe on. Thing would be really cold here. I could survive like looking like an Eskimo. Nanook of the Outback. Love a Drew Special Pizza. I have worked in Sub-Zero stuff far more than I like. There we go. There we go. 11 degrees. Thank you, Cher. I appreciate that, love. is 11 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit.
11 degrees Celsius is 51.8 degrees Fahrenheit.
Almost 52 degrees. Well, my beautiful wife has gone off to her doctor's appointment now. I was actually going to go to it, and then we realized there was no reason for me to. I know that Living History Comes Alive was around when she had surgery on her hip the last time. She had that cyst that was growing by her spine and actually went into the hip joint and was causing her exuberant amounts of pain. And she had to go in. She's got a little scar about yay big by her tailbone where they had to go in and make an incision and pull that cyst out. And she was real good for about 3.5 years. And then all of a sudden she started having pain again. And it has taken her this long to get into the doctor to be checked out and approved for an MRI to find out if the cyst has grown back. She did have an x-ray here. She went to the ER about a week and a half ago because she was in so much pain she could barely walk. They did an x-ray and they found degenerative disc in her lower spine. And, I told her, I understand degenerative disc. When I had my workman's comp injury 37 years ago in Indiana, and, the doctors started talking about back surgery and rebuilding or artificial discs and things like that. That's when the job fired me. So workman's comp was cut off and there was never a surgery or anything. But, I've been dealing with the degenerative disc and the herniated disc thing for 37 years. So, I completely understand where the pain is coming from and how it feels. Now I'm at that point where it's, walking kind of funny, has started affecting my left knee. So here, in 2 weeks, I go back to the doctor to find out if there's anything anybody can do about my spine or my left knee. I'm really hoping it's not a knee replacement already. Because if I'm not even 58 yet and having my first knee replacement, I may be angry. I might be angry. But it's my own fault because I didn't take care of myself when I was younger. I worked really hard. I worked for some complete and total bungholes. What can I say? I had a decent life when I was younger. Worked really hard, but I had a decent life. All right. I see I'm joking up here, which means um, I'm sorry, Cher, sweetie. 51 Fahrenheit ain't cold. No, actually, here it is. The end of August, and we have a Canadian front coming down. We have for 2 days now. It's been mid 60s at night. The other morning, I got up at 4 a.m. and it was 61. But they're talking about over the next couple of days, our nighttime temperatures getting down into the high 30s in August. We're going to have the high 30s at night in August. Can you imagine what January is going to be like? February? It'll be cold. It'll be cold. You want to talk about walking around like an Eskimo? Very cold. It's a different cold. Want to know the worst day of cold stuff I can recall. I fed out cattle in -5 with rain, strong winds. That's cold. Um, we do have snow here, but it's more in the hills and stuff, not near me. I'm only a couple hours from Baba. I don't know where it is. I'm in Adelaide, South Australia. Yeah, I'm not familiar with Baba. I've had several Australian friends over the years that I've got to talk to. From Adelaide, from Sydney, from Victoria, from Perth. Jesus, that's the only ones I can remember right now. Oh, okay, Victoria. All right. South to Gippsland, Victoria. In case you guys missed it earlier, um, we are monetized again. Yay! But we're not getting the views. We're not getting the views. I've been monetized for 2 months. I have made like $12. So things aren't adding up. I mean, I'm showing decent views, but the money's not adding up. Same problem I had the last time I was monetized. Just like, this little PSA that I just put up there. The very bottom of it, of course, says you can hit us up in super chats. Um, quite honestly, I would rather you didn't waste your money because if you guys remember correctly, when I was monetized before, we had one certain Native American woman on here who sent me a buttload of money during a 24-hour live stream that I done. And I argued with the platform for 2 weeks. They said their computers showed that I had received that money, and I emailed them photocopies of the stubs that they sent online, and nowhere was the super chats mentioned. Plus, the super chats don't count for your monthly threshold. So, if you never hit your threshold, then you don't get them. Let's go. Good morning, Danny. Good to see you, bud. Who sent that? It doesn't. Hmm, doesn't say. Doesn't give me a name. Finn. Okay. Well, thank you, Ben, for the $2. I appreciate that. Sadly enough, I have no idea how much you actually sent, but it came out. Well, it looks like you sent $2 because it says a $2. So I don't know what the conversion rate is on that. With 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 what's going on in our country right now, it used to be that Alan would come from England and he would bring $1,000 with him. Well, by the time he got here, it would come out American money to more like $1,400. And now it's actually, if he brought $1,000 with him, it'd probably come out to more like $800 because with everything going on, with how much the whole world loves us right now, our dollar's kind of dropping in value. Yeah, I believe that's $2 Australian. Um, Michigan Coins and Collectibles. Good morning. Hope you're doing well this morning. I should turn on our Jules Drew, and that goes off when people see it. Should turn on our jewels. As old as I am, man, I'm sitting on my jewels. So I don't know what you're, and if I turn on them, then it just hurts. Actually, what you just said is incredible. Increasing dollar value. Yeah, at one point it was increasing, but I have no clue what it is now. Um, with Alan's health, he's not been here in 3 years, so I have no clue how to convert it now. But I know when he used to come, he was very happy with the fact that um, he could leave home with basically $1,000, and when he got here and converted it, it was more like $1,400, $1,450, something like that. But now I'm sure our value. Uh, I don't know. I'm going to turn to Google again because Google is my friend. I love Google because I don't have to type it in. What would $1,500 in British money be in America?
1,500 British pounds is currently equivalent to approximately $2,047.03
So
in
see,
US currency.
it's
This
actually gone up.
conversion is based on the current exchange rate. For financial advice, consult a professional.
It's actually gone up. How about that? People can send you jewels. It's a YouTube feature. I've not seen anything about it. I've not seen any. I'm going to have to look into that. Um, let's see here. YouTube Studio. We will switch over to this account. Come down here to earn. Supers, partnerships, more ways to earn. Player for education, shopping, gifts, memberships, short feed ads. Ooh, there you go. There at the very top of this page is what I've made in 2 months of being monetized. Is that not ooh, hold on to it, guys. $10.09. Your payment activity, and then it laughs at you. Short feed ads, memberships, gifts, shopping, player for education. Yep, we don't have Jules here. I don't pay attention to exchange rates, never plan to leave here. Me and the wife would like to travel. Sadly enough, with only her working again, we can't afford to travel to Lansing or to Detroit or to Benton Harbor for all that's worth. We can't even travel down to see my sister and my son in Indiana because she has to work all the bloody time to keep money coming in. And, well, that's just how it goes. To turn on gifts powered by Jules as a creator, open YouTube Studio, go to Earn tab, select Supers and Gifts, and click Get Started to accept. Your sound is in and out. Yeah, I have no clue what's going on with that. This is the same camera that I use to make my videos, and my videos have got sound through them. I don't know what the deal is with let me see if this helps any. That's not the right cord. Is that a, that's not the microphone. That's not the microphone. Let's try this one. Let's see what happens with this one here. We'll see if this helps any. It probably won't, but we'll try it. Take that back air behind everything. We'll pop this in. Okay, and that doesn't fit. So we'll bring this in and plug that smaller plug in. How about now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? We'll bring that cord up here so it's out of the way. good looking possums over there. We got ones that look like something out of Beetlejuice. But can you hear me? Is the question. Um, I need your editing help and a podcast later around 3 p.m. if you're free. I need video intro for our podcast, Paranormal Now. Well, you are lucky because over the last couple days of me not working, I have got all my videos done for um, next week, this coming week, this week. So I have got more than enough time to come up with some kind of something for you um, for Paranormal Now. And yes, I will be free around 3 o'clock. So we're good. I got you, Butterscotch. No problem. Um, I don't hit that big. If you're looking at the camera, it's pretty good. So if I'm looking at the camera, then the sound is good. You are the co-host, and thank you. Why, you're quite welcome, sir. I appreciate that. You know, I enjoy co-hosting with you. It's one of my favorite ways to spend the day. Do we have a guest for today's podcast of Paranormal Now, or are we just going to stare and chat about the eerie, spooky, frightening things that go bump in the night? Here's a video idea. It will require further research. The history of prostitution. The very first prostitute on record was almost 20 million years ago. Her name was Ugg, and she would literally sell herself for a rock. So, and if you give her like a femur bone or something like that, she'd never leave. That's what I heard. Now, whether or not it's true, I have no clue whatsoever. That's what I heard. Topic is the history of Henderson and its true paranormal history and your adventures at House of David. Well, you know that if you want to, Dan, you are more than welcome to pop over on um, Paranormal Papa and take clips of the Henderson investigation and the City of David investigations that we done. That way, you've actually got clips you can play through, different points in the video and stuff. So you're more than welcome. You have my express permission. I mean, since I'm part of shebang to go over there and snap up any parts that you want. I wonder what the deal is with the sound. That is so strange. Hey, Masha, good to see you. Yeah, Tony was saying earlier that he couldn't hear me either. I have no clue what the deal is because nothing has been changed setting-wise. They've done a different setup on this. Let me look at this real quick. This is weird. Microphone. Run that down. Touch, lighting, close. Hide live video. Mute. Flip. Close. Huh. That's very strange. Everything is set right. I can't edit. You're the king. Take the show and edit that in, please. I have my volume to 100. Yeah, I got no clue. Literally no clue. Let me see here. Maybe this is turned down or something. Media system. Now my question is that any better? I mean, it was showing me at 100% on the microphone, but is that any better? Drew, would you consider doing the history of some of the plantations and mansions on them? I very possibly could. Yeah, if I could find information on them, I'd be more than happy to. It seems the same. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Let me come over here. Take this down. All right, now let's test this out and see how it does. Yeah, that just sucks nuts. I've got the external speakers hooked up to this, so we'll bring this one here online. I've got the external speakers hooked up to this, so we'll bring this one here online. I've got the external speakers hooked up to this, so we'll bring this one here online. I've got the external speakers hooked up to this, so we'll bring this one here online. External speakers hooked up to this, so we'll bring this one here online. Oh my God, I'm stuck on loop. Speakers hooked up to this, so bring this one here online. Oh my God, I'm stuck on loop. Speakers hooked up to this, so bring this one here that was an experience. Yeah, I don't understand. I don't. It sounds well. Yeah, it's this whole thing. You know, I'll be honest. Let me here. Hold on. Let me let me just do this way. Um, I have honestly thought about walking away for a little bit. Not because of my health. God knows, not because of the time that it takes to, you know, work like I was working, take care of the house and the family, take care of two channels. That wasn't the issue. It was the fact that there was no money to get updated equipment. I've only got a couple of pieces that I've been able to buy over the last 5 years: microphones, headphones, stuff like that to do the live stream, to do the podcast, to do everything. The wife went out, what, 2 years ago and bought me one of those real nice lavalier microphones that, you clip on your collar or something. And then you've got the little battery pack and it Bluetooths into your recording device. Um, I used it 5, maybe 6 videos, and it quit working. It just completely quit working. So I've still got it. It's still sitting on a shelf because, well, I'm a pack rat and I don't throw anything away. Um, hey, Captain, good to see you, bud. I've noticed that before. Refocus a lot. You what? Your camera's trying to refocus a lot too. Yeah, I know, and I don't understand that. I notice, it'll, and yeah, I have no clue what causes that. Bad echo. Yeah, it's all from the fact, guys, that I don't have the what in the Sam. What is going on here? I'm using the same equipment that I used 7 years ago when I had Living History Comes Alive. And anything new, and this is going to tickle you a little bit. Anything new that you ever see in any of my videos that you've never seen before, chances are I've built it. My camera rig, I built that. It's got the double lighting. This right here is the frame off of a shop light. Tony, you're familiar with a shop light, bright yellow, has the elongated bulb in it. It's got the little thing. You could turn it up, you can hang it from the hood of a car shining down on the engine, or you could set it up and point it down at the engine. That's the frame off one of those. The light is up here. I had to build my own camera rig because I didn't have $100 to go out and spend on a camera rig. Ever since my health took a turn for the worse, I've really slowed down too. I got the new toys to produce better videos, but apparently my computer needs to be swapped out and I can't afford that. I'm right there with you, Captain. I'm right there with you. You know, Danny and my dear friend Crystal went out and got me this new Lenovo last year because the computer I was using uh, it didn't quit working, but let's just say that it quit cooperating. That's the one I use here because on this computer, the video and the chat sit side by side. Well, if you've ever noticed on some videos, you can move the chat up and down without moving the video. This one you can't. So when you bring your chat all the way to the bottom to be able to comment and type and stuff, it raises the whole thing up. So on my video, you're literally seeing me like from here down. So I use this and just full screen the video to make sure that the video is actually working and I'm not sitting here talking and you guys aren't seeing, hearing anything. Damn, I really had forgotten those old shop lights since LEDs came on the scene. Yep, that's the frame off one of them. I just took the bolts out, flipped the one piece over so they both went the same direction, and connected the light bracket. This is the regular camera mount for one of our cameras. I've got it slipped up and tightened on. Um, it's got the secondary camera mount over here. And then I've got my ring light mounted with my microphone. So, I built it myself. So I had a camera rig and didn't have to carry 5 or 6 or 7 different pieces of equipment with me. It holds them all. And frankly, honestly, if I wanted to add a second layer to it, I could. We've got the drill out here. I could drill a couple of holes in it, go out and get the longer bolts and bolt me a secondary frame to it, like, a shoulder harness so it's not bouncing as much when I'm walking and stuff like that. Just haven't had the need for it. With Mark's schedule the way it is at the sheriff's department, with his recent, not recent, it was a couple months ago, he was in a car accident. So his car got messed up. So he's driving the wife's car now, which leaves her and the kids at home with no transportation at night. Luckily, he works nights, so they're sleeping usually. So they don't need to, they don't need to go to the store or anything like that. But I've not had a chance to go out and do any investigations or anything. Which is basically why I started, the Paranormal Papa thing. Take my experience and the experience that I've gathered from others and basically just help to form a new generation of paranormal investigators, paranormal enthusiasts, people who like the paranormal entertainment field or the paranormal field in itself. Maybe be craftier than you look. I may be. I've been told, even the wife, and she's really hard to please. For any of you guys that are married, you know what I'm talking about. Your wife very seldom ever looks at you and says, "Oh my God, I didn't think you could do that," or "Hey, that's pretty cool. How'd you do that?" I don't ever hear that. I took my channel in a different direction. I'm using a lot of AI to travel through time finding coins. It's a lot of work, but it's fun, especially trying to make sure the history is correct. I've actually become a big fan of some of those channels on like Instagram and stuff, where they will travel back in time and they will find like Napoleon Bonaparte or Julius Caesar or Genghis Khan or Thomas Edison, and they'll bring them to 2026 and show them the different things that what they accomplished in their time, how it has affected 2026. And there's probably five or six of them on Instagram that I watch that do the whole AI thing. And some of them are really good. I mean, you have to really look at it and look for little glitches in the AI, to be able to tell that it's not people with a green screen behind them dressed up in outfits. It's it blows me away how advanced AI has come in just the last few years. I have a few custom camera rigs that one of my friends made. Oh, very cool. Good morning, Mr. Squatchy. Hope you're doing good this morning. I recently found a channel that delves into a lot of mechanics of stuff concerning World War II. I found a channel the other day that was selling a tank from World War II. Actually has they're a custom automotive dealer, and they had a World War II tank they've already replaced the treads with the rubber treads so it can be driven on the road and everything, driven in parades and stuff. But I've seen a lot of channels that will either sell like the old Willies or the Deuce and a Halves or the half tracks, tanks, stuff like that. I get a big kick out of that. I'm sorry. Um, uh, we're down to about 15 minutes, guys. I'll be completely honest. This week, this is really hard. Um, I try to always stay up. I try to always stay happy. Um, Knowing that I was basically used again. What's up, Z Man? Good to see you. Hope you're doing good. Welcome in. Welcome in. Um, with everything going on this week, with that whole situation, I have noticed I'm sleeping less at night. I'm wanting to sleep more during the day. I'm not eating. My depression suspicion level has skyrocketed again because you face it, in this town, it's pretty much food service. It's pretty much food service. And a lot of the places don't care the quality that they want to put out. They just want to put it out as fast as they can. I come in here at 2, 2:30 in the morning. I work on my videos. By the time that the sun starts to come up out this window, I'm ready to go back to bed and sleep the day away. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to do anything. At night, when I don't have to see anybody, in a town that rolls up the sidewalks at 7 o'clock in the evening, that's a little hard. I will set the record straight, both in podcast and a new look. Agreed, paranormal communities can be crippling to each other. The problem with the paranormal community, and Dan, excuse me, I'm gonna use the name, but it's not, you understand. The problem with the paranormal community is everybody out there is trying to be the big dog. They are trying to be the most famous. They're trying to be the most active. They're trying to be the top of everything. And I've said this for a long time. If people would quit trying to be the guy who proves there is an afterlife and go back to doing what we used to do and sharing our evidence, comparing our notes, and working together to be part of the group that prove there's an afterlife. The paranormal could get back to what it used to be. A group of investigators made up of multiple teams that all work together to see the paranormal field recognized for the field of science that it actually is. And, over on Paranormal Papa channel, this coming Friday night, there's actually an interview that is up on a forensic scientist and an author who recognizes the paranormal. The whole thing circles around forensic science or paranormal forensics and haunted crime locations. She's wrote 2 or 3 books on the paranormal and true crime, things they've encountered, not just things they've encountered on a crime scene, but things they've encountered in the morgue, doing the investigation, etc. Her name is Dr. Catherine Ramsland. But I'm noticing as time rolls on that more and more professionals, police officers, judges, doctors, psychologists, scientists, are starting to recognize the fact that something is there, but to say, oh, it's a ghost, oh, it's a spirit, oh, it's this person's soul, oh, it's this, oh, they're not quite ready for that. Not all of them. Some of them are, but not all of them. So, not to mention, let me see here. I know I always preferred to record music at night. I suppose it is fewer distractions. Good equipment is important. Yeah, really, which is something I do not have. Sorry, having work done in my backyard. Well, at least you're not having work done on your back door. I believe I believe you need a proctologist for that. I'm not really sure. Or a never mind. How are you going to go there? A bigger squatch. I have a 2,000 pound tree trunk I'm going to use for mushrooms. Are you going to grow mushrooms out of your tree trunk? Are you going to have your tree trunk cut like chainsaw carved like mushrooms? Because I don't care how much it's going to taste the same. It's just not going to. Or a jail cell with a big move, which is why I said a bigger Sasquatch. Shiitake, lion's mane, chicken of the woods, snow oyster. Man, it has been forever since I found a chicken of the woods or a hen of the woods. The wife and I used to go mushroom hunting every spring, and it got to the point where we might find yay big around about that tall, and we only find like 15 or 20 of them. I remember 7 or 8 years ago, we'd go out mushroom hunting and we'd come home with, 3 or 4 grocery bags, plastic grocery bags full of mushrooms. And the only place around here within, walking distance to hunt mushrooms, they're tearing it all out and putting in a housing development. And the tripping guys, or else the only ones I know of around here. I don't know. I've just noticed that in this last week I have been feeling less and less important. Um, which you guys, I've told you guys before in just casual chat that I've suffered depression since I was probably 12 or 13 years old, and back when I was growing up, kids didn't have depression, especially boys didn't have depression. Um, so now here I am at 57 years old, and I've had to pull myself out of the hole so many times that my arms are worn out. And I had somebody not very long ago tell me that it's not how many times you fall down, it's how many times you pick yourself up. And frankly, I've fallen down so many times that I've realized that I'm out of the line of fire. when I'm laying flat. I gotta do something. I gotta, this right here has been the only thing that has even come close to keeping me going. And, I don't know. I'll figure something out. I always do. I always do. Wait till you're 63 or 65. At least then I'll have an excuse. You know, I don't have to, don't feel less important because of a wanker. Everyone does, and that's why we're here every week. That's what I said. This, uh, when I woke up yesterday morning, you know, I wasn't even going to set up a live stream, and then I started thinking, I have no excuse not to. I have no excuse not to. I don't got to go to work. You always feel better when you get off there. You know, sitting there talking to everybody, and you got people from all around the world that come and talk to you. Why are you going to let them down for? So that's there's no more of an excuse if your health holds out. Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. Um, I appreciate it, Dan. I really look forward to Monday night. Got my alarm set to remind me. Yeah, you guys are really awesome. And that's one reason that no matter how much if I'm able to get up and move, if I'm not dying from a fever, if I'm not working, you know, I'm here. And, I couldn't think of an excuse not to be. So that's the gist of it. You know, I try to be here if at all possible. There's only been, in all these years, Tony, there's only been a couple of times that you weren't here. And I can't remember either one of them being your fault. Oh yeah, definitely, Dan. I will, as soon as we're done here in a couple minutes, I'll get to work on an intro for Paranormal Now and get it sent over to you. And definitely 3 o'clock. I got you. I can drop in. Now, this is the only place I interact with people. Retail stuff notwithstanding. You guys and your support and your caring and your strength um, means a lot. it helps a lot. But I'm going to go on and kill this. I have a job to do. And we will do this again next Monday morning night for you Aussie folk. Weekly social catch. That's exactly it. Yeah, the Facebook paranormal crowd has become very dodgy and self-serving. Some of them, a lot of them. Yeah. YouTube, some of them, a lot of them. It's all about the dollars. It's not about the evidence. It's not about the experience. It's not about the collaborations. It's not about anything. It's all about the dollar. That's why a lot of them have dramatized it up so much that they're getting, 10,000 views an hour. I just looked at one this morning when I came in here. They hadn't even been on. They hadn't been posted for 3 hours yet. And they were up to like 175,000 views. They made in 3 hours, they made more off of their video than I have ever made. You figure they're getting paid somewhere between $7 and $12 per thousand views. They've got 170 some odd thousand views. They literally made more off that one video than I've made in my 8 years on YouTube. Hell, they made more in 3 hours than I made in my jobs in the last 7 or 8 years. So, but that's it. We'll be back next week, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll call you later. I have an in-home diabetic eye exam this morning. I'll be here. So, love you too, bud. Love you too. But until next week, take care of yourselves and each other. And we'll catch y'all right here next week for another roundabout. So, take care, and we'll catch y'all later.